Something has been building around you, Pisces. You may not have found the right words for it yet, and that is perfectly fine, because what is happening does not always arrive in words first. For you it arrives as a feeling, a shift in the current beneath the surface, a softening of something that was tight, a sense that the air around your life has changed, even though when you look at the specifics, many things still appear exactly the same. But you feel it. And for Pisces, that feeling is not imagination. It is information. It is the deep, water-soaked intuition of a sign that has always known things before it could explain them. You were born as the last sign of the zodiac, the one that has passed through all the others and carries the lessons of every one of them. You are old in the soul in a way that has nothing to do with the year you were born. And that old soul recognizes what is happening right now, even if the younger, more surface-facing part of you is still trying to make sense of it. The universe is opening a door for you. Not a metaphorical door, not a vague spiritual concept, but a real, tangible opening in the direction of your actual life. An opening towards something better, something truer, something that was always meant for you but could not arrive until now, until you were ready to receive it. This video is going to walk you through the 11 clear signals that this opening is already underway. Some of them you may have already noticed. Some may surprise you, but taken together they tell a single unmistakable story. Your next chapter has already begun. Signal 1. The relationships in your life are quietly reorganizing themselves. You have not done anything dramatic. You have not made any major announcements or had any decisive confrontations. And yet the people around you are rearranging. Some are drifting closer, appearing more frequently, reaching out when they normally would not, or showing up with a depth of presence that you have not experienced from them before. Others are drifting back, finding reasons to be less available, becoming quieter, fading in the way that things fade when they belong to a chapter that is ending rather than one that is beginning. This kind of quiet reorganization is one of the clearest signals the universe sends that a new door is opening. Because new chapters require different supporting casts. Not better people necessarily, not more valuable or more worthy people, but people who are aligned with the frequency of where you are going rather than where you have been. The relationships that are strengthening now are the ones that can hold the version of you that is emerging. The ones pulling back were built around the version of you that is completing. For Pisces, this kind of change can feel painful even when it is right. You are a deeply relational sign. You feel loss in your body. You grieve connections even when those connections were not serving you, because the loss itself is real regardless of whether what was lost was healthy. Give yourself permission to feel the grief of what is ending without using that grief as a reason to hold on to things that need to go. The grief and the rightness of the change can coexist. You do not have to choose between honoring your sadness and trusting the direction you are being moved in. Watch who steps closer in the coming weeks. The universe is introducing or reinforcing the people who belong to your new chapter. Pay attention to who those people are and what they bring. They are part of the signal. Signal 2. Your sense of what is possible has quietly expanded. Something has shifted in how large your life feels to you. Not so long ago, certain things felt out of reach. Not necessarily in a dramatic, painful way, just in a settled, quiet way, the way something becomes invisible when it has been off the table for too long. You stopped thinking about them. You focused on what was in front of you. You made your world smaller in order to make it manageable. And that was a reasonable response to a season of difficulty or limitation. But now something has loosened. You are having thoughts that feel new. Not wild or unrealistic, but genuinely expanded. You are imagining things you had stopped imagining. You are considering possibilities you had filed away as belonging to someone else's life. The inner ceiling has moved. And that shift in what feels possible is not random. It is a response to real movement that is happening beneath the visible surface of your life. Your soul can sense that the territory has changed even before your circumstances catch up to reflect that change. Pisces has a complicated relationship with possibility. On one hand, your imagination is one of the most expansive in the zodiac. You can dream in ways that most people cannot access. On the other hand, if you have been hurt by hope before, if you have dreamed big and been disappointed, you learn to keep the dreams quieter, closer to the chest, less visible and therefore less vulnerable. The expansion you are feeling now is your soul testing the new ground. It is wondering whether it is safe to dream openly again. It is. This expansion is a signal, not a trick. The universe is not showing you what is possible just to pull it away. It is showing you what is possible because it is becoming real. Let the expansion happen. Do not talk yourself back into the smaller version. If what you are hearing feels accurate, know that it could happen if you apply this energy consistently for 21 consecutive days. That is the 21-day challenge pinned at the top of this channel. It is built around daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you are tired of staying in the same cycle, that structure is exactly what has been missing. Signal 3. You are being drawn to learn something new or explore a direction you have never explored before. A curiosity has woken up. Maybe it is a subject you have never studied but that has suddenly caught your interest in a way that feels almost urgent. Maybe it is a skill you always thought was beyond you but now, for some reason, seems accessible and appealing. Maybe it is a place you keep seeing references to, or a kind of work you have started to wonder about, or a community or practice you have been orbiting but not yet entered. Something is calling your attention in a direction that is unfamiliar. When the universe opens a new door for Pisces, it almost always begins with a signal of curiosity, because Pisces learns through absorption, through immersion, through letting themselves be drawn into something and living inside it until they have absorbed everything it has to offer. Before the door fully opens, the interest appears. The question appears. The pull toward the unfamiliar appears. And if you follow that curiosity with the openness that Pisces is capable of, it leads somewhere. This is not about being impulsive or abandoning everything you know. It is about recognizing that the curiosity itself is a signal. When your attention is being drawn in a consistent direction, when you keep noticing the same topic or the same kind of person or the same field of interest appearing across different areas of your life, that consistency is not accidental. It is the universe narrowing your attention towards something that belongs to your next chapter. What has been catching your attention lately that feels new? Do not dismiss it as distraction. Do not tell yourself you are not qualified or not ready or too old or too late. Follow the curiosity. See where it leads. The new door the universe is opening may look exactly like the thing you have been curious about. Signal 4. Synchronicities are occurring with unusual frequency in your daily life. You think about a person and they contact you within the hour. You have been wrestling with a question and then you open a book to a random page and the exact answer is sitting there. You say something aloud to yourself and then within the day, you see it appear somewhere else in an entirely unrelated context. The coincidences have been stacking up in a way that feels too precise and too frequent to be dismissed. Synchronicities are the universe's way of confirming that you are in alignment with something that is moving toward you. They are the signal that the frequency you are operating on is the right one, that you are in the flow rather than working against it. For Pisces, this kind of confirmation is especially meaningful because you already live closer to the mystical than most signs. You have always had a sense that the visible world is only part of the story. When synchronicities begin to multiply, it is your sign that the invisible part of the story is actively aligning with the visible. Keep a record of these moments if you can. Write down the coincidences that feel charged, that feel meaningful, that produce in you that specific sensation of recognition, the feeling that something is saying, yes, you are in the right place, yes, you are on the right track. Over the course of even a few weeks, a pattern will likely emerge. The synchronicities will point toward something, toward a person, a direction, a decision, a way of seeing your life differently. That pointing is the universe communicating as directly as it knows how to with a sign as receptive as Pisces. Trust what you are noticing. The coincidences are not random. They are coordinates. Signal 5. You are feeling more comfortable in your own skin than you have in a very long time. There has been a shift in how you carry yourself. Nothing that anyone else might necessarily notice from the outside, but something you feel on the inside. A slight loosening of the tension you have been holding in your chest or your shoulders. A moment in the mirror where you looked at yourself and did not immediately find fault. A conversation where you expressed your real opinion without bracing for rejection. A day that ended with you feeling like you had been genuinely present for it, rather than watching it from behind glass. For Pisces, who so often absorbs the emotional energy of others and can lose track of their own center in the process, this returning sense of self is a profound signal. It means the energetic field around you is clearing. It means the relationships and environments that were pulling you away from yourself have lost some of their grip. It means you are finding your way back to your own skin, and that return is always a preparation for something significant. When Pisces is centered, when they are genuinely connected to their own feelings and their own truth rather than constantly processing and managing the feelings of others, they become extraordinarily capable. The gifts that make this sign remarkable, the empathy, the creativity, the spiritual depth, the ability to see what others miss, all of those gifts sharpen considerably when they are being expressed from a grounded place rather than from a place of self-loss. The version of you that is more comfortable in your own skin is the version that the new chapter needs. Notice when this comfort appears and what conditions make it possible. Those conditions are your map. They are telling you what to build more of in your life going forward. If this message is resonating with your sign right now, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal at exactly the right moment. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support, whether as a subscriber or as a member of this community, is what keeps these messages alive. The ones that touch hearts, awaken minds, and transform lives. If this video has been making sense to you, drop in the comments the day you were born. Let us keep going. Signal 6. Something you have been waiting on is beginning to show signs of actual movement. There was something you wanted, something you put energy into and then had to wait for. And the waiting was hard, because Pisces carries hope at such a high intensity that prolonged waiting can start to feel like loss. There were moments where you wondered if it was ever going to move, if you should give up hope and redirect your energy, if you had been wrong about what you thought was coming. And then, quietly, almost without announcement, it started to move. Maybe it is a situation that has been stalled, and suddenly there is communication again. Maybe it is an opportunity you had stopped expecting, and out of nowhere there is a signal that it is still possible. Maybe it is a relationship that felt frozen and something has thawed. Maybe it is something internal rather than external, a block inside yourself that finally seems to have shifted, a fear that no longer feels as overwhelming as it did before, a clarity that has emerged after months of confusion. Whatever it is, the movement is real and it is meaningful. This is one of the clearest signals that a new door is opening, when things that were stuck begin to move. The universe does not rush these timings. They are precise. The stalling period had a purpose. Things were being arranged that could not be seen from where you were standing. People were being positioned, lessons were being completed, old energy was being cleared to make way for the new. And now the movement is signaling that the arrangement is complete enough for the next phase to begin. Do not rush it. Do not overmanage it. Do not flood it with anxiety about whether it is real or whether it will last. Simply allow it to move and move with it. The momentum you have been waiting for is beginning. Signal 7. Your creative expression is returning or intensifying after a period of quiet. There was a period, and you know which one it was, where your creativity went quiet. The ideas stopped flowing the way they used to. The things that used to inspire you felt flat. The impulse to make something, to write or paint or sing or cook or design or build, lost its urgency. And that quietness was its own kind of signal, a signal that something inside you was in a period of withdrawal, pulling back, conserving, processing something too large to create through. And now it is returning. The ideas are coming again. The urge to express something is back. The blank page or the empty canvas or the silent instrument no longer feels like a barrier. Feels like an invitation. Something in you wants to make something, wants to contribute something to the world through the specific channel of your creativity. And that wanting is back with a vitality it may not have had before the quiet period. For Pisces, the creative return is always a spiritual signal. Your creativity is not just self-expression. It is how you receive and transmit the energy of the universe through the particular instrument that is your life. When it goes quiet, the channel is resting or being cleared. When it returns, the channel is open again. And an open channel in Pisces is a powerful thing. It means what wants to come through you now, what wants to be made real in the world through your hands and your heart and your imagination, is not just your own idea. It is a collaboration between you and the larger intelligence you have always felt connected to. Take what is returning seriously. Let it have real time and real attention in your life. The creative work you do in this period may be among the most important and resonant of your life. Signal 8. You are beginning to speak more honestly than you have before. Something has changed about how you move through conversations. You have been saying things that you would have swallowed before. Not cruel things, not harsh things, but true things. Things you previously kept back because you were afraid of the reaction, or because you did not feel like your truth was worth the disruption it might cause. And lately you have been speaking it anyway, with a quietness that surprised you, with a clarity that did not feel like it cost as much as you expected. This is a profound signal because for Pisces, honest speech is not always easy. You are so attuned to how your words land in other people that you often edit yourself extensively before speaking. You feel the potential for hurt before the words are even out, and you modulate accordingly. This is empathy, and it is a gift. But when it crosses into chronic self-suppression, when you routinely say less than what is true to protect other people from the discomfort of your honesty, it creates a kind of inner pressure that never fully releases. When you begin to speak more honestly, when you begin to let people know what you actually think and feel with less filtering and more directness, it is a sign that something has shifted in how you value yourself. Something has decided that your truth is worth the air it takes to express it, that you do not have to earn the right to speak by first ensuring that what you say will be perfectly received, that you are allowed to be heard, even when what you say is uncomfortable. This shift in how you speak is connected directly to the new door opening. The people and opportunities on the other side of that door are attracted to the real you, not the managed version. Your honesty is not a liability in what is coming. It is a beacon. Signal 9. Old situations that kept you stuck are beginning to resolve themselves. There were things in your life that felt like they would never untangle. A conflict that had no clear resolution. A financial or practical situation that had stayed difficult for too long. A relationship dynamic that seemed to be running on a loop with no visible exit. A decision that had been hovering unresolved, demanding attention without providing clarity. These knotted places in your life seemed permanent, like features of the landscape rather than temporary conditions. And something has shifted there too. Not necessarily dramatically or all at once. Maybe a conversation happened that dissolved what seemed like an uncrossable tension. Maybe a practical solution appeared that you had not thought of before. Maybe the decision became clear not because new information arrived, but because your own inner state finally settled enough to hear what you already knew. Maybe the thing that seemed permanent simply ran out of energy and let go. When old stuck situations begin to resolve, it is because the energetic ground beneath them has shifted. You have moved enough, grown enough, cleared enough, that the conditions which sustained those stalemates no longer exist. The universe is clearing the field. It is not just opening a new door, it is also quietly closing, latching, and sealing the ones that were keeping you looking backward. The resolutions you are experiencing are acts of completion. The universe wrapping up old business on your behalf, so that your attention and energy can turn toward what is new. Receive these resolutions with gratitude, rather than suspicion. You do not need to second-guess whether they are real or whether they will hold. Simply allow them to be what they are. Completion. And breathe in the space that the completion creates. Signal 10. You are trusting your intuition more consistently, and it is proving accurate. Something has changed about the relationship between you and your own knowing. You had a feeling about something, and instead of talking yourself out of it the way you might have before, you honored it. You trusted it. Maybe you said no to something your gut was flagging even though your mind was offering reasons why it might be fine. Maybe you moved towards something your heart was pointing to even though the logical case for it was incomplete. Maybe you simply made a choice and then felt it land with a rightness that confirmed the direction. And you were right. The feeling was accurate. The intuition proved itself. And that proof is building something important in you, which is trust. Trust in your own inner instrument. Trust in the specific way that you, Pisces, receive guidance and information from the invisible layer of reality that you have always had access to. This trust is crucial, not just as a spiritual ideal but as a practical tool, because the door that is opening in your life will require you to make decisions that the available evidence does not fully support. It will require you to feel your way forward in places where the map runs out. The Pisces who does not trust their intuition is the one who gives away that advantage, who hands their inner knowing over to external authorities, to other people's opinions, to logic that is too slow to serve them. The Pisces who trust their intuition is one of the most powerfully guided people in the world, because they are operating with a form of information that most people do not have access to. The fact that your intuition is proving accurate right now is the universe's way of saying, keep going, trust the instrument, the signal is strong and it is reliable. What you feel is real. What you know is true. You can proceed with confidence. Signal 11. Something you cannot yet name has settled in you like a new kind of peace. Underneath everything, underneath the questions and the wondering and the excitement and the occasional fear that comes with all genuine change, there is something that is not any of those things. Something quieter. Something that does not demand anything of you. You might call it peace, though that word feels almost too small. You might call it stillness, though it is not the stillness of nothing happening. It is the stillness of something having been settled at a level so deep that the surface can finally relax. You have done something in the recent past. You have moved through something real. You have processed something that needed to be processed, let go of something that needed to be released, or arrived at some understanding of yourself or your life that you did not have before. And the arrival of that understanding has created this peace. It is not happiness necessarily, not the bright, energetic feeling of joy, but something more foundational, a sense that things are going to be okay. Not just manageable, not just survivable, but genuinely okay in the fullest sense of that word. For Pisces, this kind of foundational peace is a major signal. Because your emotional nature is so sensitive, so responsive, so easily stirred by the energy around you, moments of this depth of quiet are not common. When they arrive, they carry meaning. They signal that you are in alignment, that what is coming and who you are have arrived at the same point, that you are not moving toward the new door from a place of desperation or fear or frantic searching, but from a place of centered, grounded readiness that the universe can actually work with. This peace is the confirmation. It is the universe's signature on what is already in motion. Trust it, rest in it, and walk forward into what is opening for you from exactly this place. If this message resonated with your sign, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it always sends exactly the right signal. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support as a subscriber or as a member of this community is what keeps these messages alive. They are the messages that touch, awaken, and transform. If this video made sense to you, leave in the comments the day you were born. Pisces, there is a particular kind of beauty in the way you move through life. It is not the sharp, decisive beauty of fire signs or the structured, deliberate beauty of earth signs. It is the fluid, deep, endlessly adapting beauty of water. You move the way water moves, finding the path that is available, shaping yourself to the terrain, and in doing so, finding your way to places that more rigid things cannot reach. That quality, which has sometimes felt like a weakness, like not having enough edges, like being too easily shaped by whatever surrounds you, is actually one of your most profound strengths. Because water over time shapes stone. Water gets into the cracks of what is hard and inflexible, and through patient presence, changes the landscape entirely. The 11 signals you heard today are not a checklist to be completed or a standard to be measured against. They are reflections of what is already happening in your life. Some of them you recognized immediately, felt in your body before the sentence was even finished. Others may have required a moment of sitting with it, of testing it against your experience. But the resonance you felt, even the partial resonance, is meaningful. It means the current is moving in you and around you. It means you are not standing still, even in the moments when standing still is exactly what it looks like from the outside. What comes next for you will not arrive all at once. Doors do not open in an instant. They open gradually, first a crack where the light gets through, then wider as you move toward them, and then wide enough that you can actually step through. You are in the early stages of that opening. The light is coming through already. What you need now is not impatience. What you need is the willingness to move toward the light, even when the full picture of what is on the other side is not yet visible. You were designed for this moment, this specific meeting point of your particular history and your particular nature, and this particular opening that the universe is offering. No other sign carries the combination of depth and adaptability and spiritual sensitivity that you carry. No other sign is quite as capable of making something beautiful out of the space between what was and what is becoming. That is the territory Pisces was made for. And that is the territory you are in right now. Walk toward what is opening, Pisces. The door is real. The invitation is genuine. And everything that has brought you to this moment, every loss and every love and every dream and every moment of faith in things you could not yet see, it was all preparation for this. You are ready. And the universe, which has been working on this longer than you know, agrees.